Actually, it should be income that is derived from owning cows, not taxing cows.
Income derived from sale of cows. Mr. Chairman, I think the question we should also ask, what I would like to challenge my colleague Honorable Kanya to think about, is if I sell a cow, or if he sells a cow, where does he spend this money? You spend this money on school fees, for example. You spend this money to expand your other businesses. You spend this money on consumption. When you sell, you become happy. You buy a bottle of wine, you buy a beer, you invite friends. So in other words, Mr. Chairman, our tax policy is not tax. We do not encourage taxing production, taxing the bone marrow. Let people engage in farming, in livestock, in crop, and others. They make money. After making this money, we meet them. We increase, like now we are increasing on wines, spirits, and other
Kanya is talking about commercial
Mr. Chairman, when you sell cows, you want to construct a good house. That good house, you will need cement. So cement, there is a tax which I'm proposing to increase there. So that is the principle.
You see, there are people exempted them from the tax. That's what I was meaning. You know, live animals, and you're exempting them from income.
I think what you will do, Honorable Minister, is to take...
Are presenting these bills, each individually, and I think that's what we have always had. Now, I was under the impression that you are restricting us to just some clarification before they present. But with your ruling, it seems to be that they have now made their presentation and we can proceed with the discussion. Is that right? Is that procedurally okay, Honorable Chair? I thought actually that they are going to present each bill together with the explanation behind each of the bills that they have brought to us.
Okay, thank you. Honorable Kefa, when the minister presented,
Teachers are going to support government to raise tax. You have, for the last 1 month or so, you have presented proposals to write off some taxes, which is provided for in the law. We have reminded you year in and year out about the need to harmonize some of these tax framework or laws with the partner states, because Uganda continue to be the good girl or the good boy in terms of waiving some taxes, and we sign under the ESC. We have this tax harmonization committee where you attend, but you find that farmers in Uganda continue to pay a very high price because some of the partner states continue to smuggle goods within the framework that's provided for under the rules of origin. And I can be on record here, Ugandans from Tororo and eastern part of Uganda who grow rice are suffering heavily. They cannot sell their rice at a favorable price because rice is smuggled in Rwanda, in Tanzania and Kenya, allegedly to be originating from those countries, and yet there are proposal to close that gap. Secondly, Mr. Chairman, you know the shelter shortage, housing shortage you have in Uganda. The minister needs to give us that these tax measures that you are proposing, some of the tax measures you are proposing, is not going to create unemployment. So the studies that the minister has given us is so brief, Mr. Chairman, that does not show us how these tax measures are going to create jobs and to increase more revenue. So I request you through Mr. Chairman that the Minister and his team needs to give us more studies. And why, for all these years, we have proposed that we need to tax people who sell cows. If there is no proposal to tax people who sell cows, because we are asking the Minister at areas where we need. Number two, people who trade in the land. The other day, a member said on record that the LOCs and local people are collecting revenue when people sell land. I have not seen that proposal here to close that gap. Those are just two areas, cows and then people trade in land.
Yes, Honorable Kanya, thank you. Actually, if you remember, the Minister will avail us later with detailed studies. These are just a few explanatory notes. And I would also implore
the income tax amendment bill, the tax procedure amendment bill, the external trade amendment
Honorable
bill,
Kanya, wait for the procedural point.
Amendment bill,
Honorable
the
Kanya.
traffic road and safety amendment bill, lottery and gaming. Mr. Chairman, that is my preamble. Whereas we are introducing a new tax measure to squeeze blood out of Ugandans, at the same time, we are right. Yesterday in the House.
Honorable Kanya, hold on for the procedural point from Honorable Bataringaya.
Yes, Chair. So wouldn't it be procedural right that the Minister also provides those insights? Then the issues come to our side and then we start commentary as the need arises.
Yeah, Honorable Bataringaya, if you...
We are supposed to give us figures of the expenditure, the expected expenditure for the next
member have just raised that issue generally concerning all certificates. So maybe you go to the other issue.
Yes, they need, I don't know why, but all of them need to be redone and resubmitted to the committee. We cannot proceed with this.
The Minister with his team will address all the certificates of financial implications, specifically showing a 3-year projection of the expected income arising from that particular tax proposition, and then the expenditure arising therefrom.
Yes, and on the for the current financial 2025-2026.
They are going to do
but
for 3 years.
It talks about the years after the tax has come into effect.
The 3 years.
The subsequent years, not this current financial.
Yeah, 3 years from now. Yes, Honorable Semuju.
The need for revenue and the need to support businesses and protect the welfare of citizens in line with the NDP4 and the tenfold growth strategy. Mr. Chairman and members, the bills include modest increases of tax rates on some tax heads. They also encompass technical amendments to tax laws aimed at improving clarity and consistency, creating a fairer and a more predictable tax environment for businesses and taxpayers, and removing ambiguities that create loopholes and lead to revenue leakages. Mr. Chair and members, the proposed bills are complemented by the improvements in tax compliance. The compliance strategies are designed to expand the tax base by bringing on board persons currently outside the tax net, taxpayers who are under declaring sales and income, and persons involved in smuggling, under invoicing, under valuation, and other customs fraud. URA's focus will be on improving compliance through information technology IT solutions such as the electronic fiscal receipting and invoicing system IFRIS, digital stamps, rental tax solution, electronic cargo tracking system, interfacing with other government IT systems, and utilizing third-party data such as water and electricity bills. Additionally, URA will intensify audits, greater attention to rented properties, and the use of non-intrusive scanners to deter and stamp out smuggling. We will therefore continue to support The URA to intensify efforts to eradicate corruption in revenue collection by recruiting additional staff to ensure that URA is fully staffed and fostering its ability to reach more taxpayers, especially high net worth individuals in sectors such as construction and transport, as well as professionals. Honorable Chair and members, by approving these measures in the tax bills, we will have enabled the government to raise revenue to fund critical social services such as health and education, support the tenfold growth strategy, and accelerate the development of essential infrastructure. These investments are vital for driving economic growth, job creation, and improving the lives of all Ugandans, while also fostering Uganda's economic independence by reducing our reliance on debt. I therefore seek your continued support and Parliament. I seek your continued support of this committee and Parliament in passing these tax measures. Chair, as you have noted, we are ready to provide the necessary clarification, technical support, and also we are ready to assign staff to be on standby as and when the committee wants clarification and some information. We will assign staff to remain on standby to enable you smoothly consider these bills and support you with all the appropriate information. Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much. Today I laid the bills, the tax bills, before the Committee on Finance, Planning and Economic Development for consideration. And the bills are 8 in number. The main ones are the Income Tax Amendment Bill, the VAT Amendment Bill, the Tax Procedures Code Bill, the Stamp Duty, among others. Now, you are asking is contained in the Income Tax Amendment Bill. The Income Tax Amendment Bill contains the following. 1, we are proposing to introduce a 5% withholding tax rate on interest paid by a resident company to a non-resident lender other than the exempt person. 2, we are proposing to review the current threshold of pay-as-you-earn and personal income tax. This is where the threshold is changing from 235 to 335. We are proposing to provide an option for taxpayers to pay rental income tax on a monthly basis. The rental income has been paid quarterly, every 3 months. That's what the law has been providing for. And now we are proposing to amend. This is an administrative amendment to enable the rental the rental income earners pay rental tax on a monthly basis. We are proposing to introduce a withholding tax of 10% on commissions paid to data and voice bundle distribution agents. 5, we are proposing to extend the tax holiday or the exemption for Bujagali for another 5 years up to 2032. This is an exemption to to prevent the cost of power going up. It is something we have been debating in this House for some time. 6, we propose to introduce a 15% withholding tax on gaming. 7, we propose to introduce an alternative minimum tax of 0.5% for businesses which carry forward losses beyond 7 consecutive years. In other words, you consecutively report tax losses forever. You want to report losses year in, year out. We are saying if you get to 7 years, you are still in operation, perhaps you are making business profit, but you are reporting tax losses year in, year out. We now tax you based on your turnover. A 6% final withholding tax on non-business assets. 9, we propose to introduce a withholding tax of 6% on public entertainers. 10, we propose to introduce a withholding tax of 6% on public entertainers. You people, when you are doing your what? Your concerts, your what? This is for musicians. When the Baram is doing his revuro, so on his income, we want to take 6% of it because he's earning income. When you are doing comedy, same. When you are doing comedy, when I was young, I used to go to Theatre Bonita. Yes, I would pay, but there would be no tax charge. Now we are saying, if you are Theatre Bonita, you are charging for comedy. Then we deduct 6% withholding from you.
So it will be double taxation, you tax them.
No, can I answer then, can I give you, then you'll ask questions.